Hi, welcome to Seajay Creates. I'm CJ, and I create stuff. This is a long time coming. I won't give you the whole backstory, but essentially, this should have come out at the end of April and didn't because various members of my family got sick, I got sick, lost my voice, honestly just got really tired, and now we're here. So, without further ado, I'm going to break down the last, also these are spoilers, Mega Evolutions for Pokémon Legends ZA that I've created. These are based on leaks, but the designs themselves aren't, just which Pokemon are. First on our list for today, Victreebel. Now, I have a weird soft spot for Victreebel. I don't like it, but I don't hate it and have an emotional attachment to it, even though I don't think it's an amazing design. It doesn't get me excited. I just think it's cool, but it's a weird relationship. Doesn't matter. For this Mega Evolution, I wanted to focus on one thing. Making a highly carnivorous plant. Not just a plant that would eat stuff with its giant mouth, but I wanted every part of this Pokemon to be able to eat, to devour. Not quite to Guzzlord's level, but to Mega Victreebel's level. So we've increased the size of the mouth on the top of its head, which I guess that makes it not the top of its head. Debate in the comments, where's the top of Victreebel's head? We've also made it so that it has leaves on the sides of its bell that it can use to eat things, and now its tail has another mouth as well. So you've got one plant, 4 mouths, extra big teeth, and honestly, a bit of an attitude. I think maybe the reason that I like Victreebel to the extent that I do is its presence in the anime. I believe it's one of the plant Pokemon that regularly eats James, not just Carnivine, though Carnivine's obviously the main contributor to that specific trope, but I believe Victreebel used to do the same thing. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm misremembering that in the comments too. Regardless, this is Mega Victreebel, and I really like how it turned out. Meet Mega Victreebel. A sweet stench emanates from Mega Victreebel's mouth, leaves, and the end of its vine. Any unfortunate Pokemon who draws near it will be grabbed and ensnared by whichever maw is closest to it. Once captured, prey are dissolved in seconds by a strong stomach acid within Victreebel's bell. Let's talk about a somewhat forgotten Pokemon next, Zeraora. And I think I'm saying that name right. I honestly don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, which I did like, but surprisingly, Zeraora is kind of a Pokemon that I don't remember that well. Trust me, I know it exists and that it's real, obviously, but it's not one that I think about, which is why I was excited to make a Mega Evolution for it. I think one thing that I've learned throughout this process is that there really is value and intent to every Pokemon design. I don't believe the Pokemon Company just churns out Pokemon, and you can disagree with that if you want to, but I do think there's a reason that every Pokemon is someone's favorite Pokemon, with the exception of an unfortunate few who were at the bottom of a poll a couple years ago. But for the most part, someone likes every Pokemon. As I've drawn these Pokemon, I feel like my attachment to them has only grown, which is part of why I was excited for Zeraora. It's already a really cool Pokemon. I just wanted to take it to a next level. Something interesting about Zeraora is that within its own bio, it said that it can't generate its own electricity. It can only absorb and redirect electricity. So I wanted to take that idea, that concept, and try and level that up, take that into its Mega Evolution. I've given it giant hands, as well as an increased amount of fur everywhere, so that it becomes a bigger target and is maybe even able to summon lightning and things like that. If it can't generate its own lightning, I do want it to have some kind of mythical level power that really makes it an impressive Pokemon. Meet Mega Zeraora. Mega Zeraora cannot produce electricity within its own body, but it is able to command thunderstorms. The lightning it summons can coat its claws and arms, making its attacks that much stronger. It can cause lightning to strike with just a thought. Now we're going to get into the juicy stuff. This is where I've really taken the most liberty throughout this challenge, and it's something I've been planning to do all along. Mega Zygarde. Mega Zygarde's interesting because what I would like to see the Pokemon Company do is take full advantage of the multiple forms that it's already given to Zygarde itself. Here's what I'm going to do with that concept. You have your Zygote. I don't know what to call it. The little single Zygarde cells. You have your 10% form, which is the dog. You have 50% form, which is a snake worm thing. And then you have 100% form, which is that Titan, where it's on 2 legs and looks like Voltron. It's awesome. I love them all. What I'm going to do is take each of those to the next level. For a dog, I think the next step is to be a wolf. Now, I've tried to go in and make it look like more cells have been added. In my mind, I imagine it's something like a 10% boost in terms of the number of Zygarde cells when it Mega Evolves. So, what do we call these? Well, you've seen other Pokemon in the past that have different Mega forms. You have Mewtwo and Charizard specifically that have Mega X and Mega Y. But what makes that distinction? For these Zygarde Megas, I'm going to use letters, but I'm going to use the percentages in correspondence to the alphabet. So for 10% form here, we're going to have Mega Zygarde C. You're going to see as we go through these other forms what that entails, what that looks like, what that 10% boost becomes. But for now, know that this one is intended to resemble a wolf rather than a dog, and it has just a little bit better stats across the board. Meet Mega Zygarde C. Mega Zygarde C represents the first known Pokemon with 3 Mega forms. Though the reason for its existence is not clear, it seems to be drawn to Lumiose Tower. Even in this form, Mega Zygarde can shake the earth with a single step and rend buildings. Okay, now we're going to Mega Evolve Zygarde's 50% form. I bet you're wondering, if you view it as a snake or a worm, what does that look like with an extra 10%? And I should be clear, the 10% thing, I'm not trying to be exact with that. I just imagine it's a general boost, an increase of Z cells, or again, whatever they're called. So for this 50% form, we're taking it from a snake into a worm, not with an O, but with a Y. A worm, for those of you who don't know, is a dragon without arms or legs. It's a dragon snake. Now, they don't typically have wings, but they can. It's foggy there, but the main thing is the no arms and legs thing, okay? So we're taking our snake, turning it into a dragon snake, which it's already a dragon type and helps us in that regard. You may be wondering, well, what letter is this one going to get assigned? And maybe you can try and guess. You'll have an extra minute or so of me talking, so give it a shot in the comments. Let me know what you think. For this specifically, I wanted to lean into this idea of a snake dragon. So I've given it fangs and a rattlesnake tail made of a collection of Z cells. I've also given it these wing-like structures that are intended to be insect-like as well. I want it to be kind of ambiguous, just like these other forms have been, in terms of what this Pokemon is. Instead of that frill, it now has these wings, but they aren't your traditional shape either. Meet Mega Zygarde N. Mega Zygarde N represents the first known Pokemon with 3 Mega forms. Though the reason for its existence is not clear, it seems to be drawn to Lumiose Tower. Even in this form, Mega Zygarde can dig entire canyons with ease, rending the earth as it moves its body. I'm going to say something about 100% Zygarde that is probably a common sentiment. I really wish it had gotten its own game. It's such a cool concept, and I'm glad that it's getting its own game now, but it feels like it was just left behind. Now, I believe there were quests that you could do to get its 100% form, and there was kind of some attempt to make up for there not being a Pokemon Z game, but man, was it disappointing. I think it looks so cool, and I love the concept, and so to not have really interacted with it up to this point, it's just like Zeraora. It kind of gets forgotten for me. So I really wanted to do it justice. Instead of just being this big Titan Voltron-esque character, I wanted to think of new ways that I could elevate this concept. We're going to talk a little bit of story, and we're going to talk a little bit of design here. The first thing is, I love normal 100% form Zygarde's cape. It is so cool. I like that each of the little cape strands kind of becomes a snake head that can open and close, and that's something I really fixated on. I wanted to turn what was basically like a walking Titan into this walking fortress. I want it to be more than just a one-man army. I want it to be a one-man army, defense, siege, everything. That's why I settled on this concept that its upper half should look like a castle. I wanted there to be 4 pillars to replace the 4 strands of its cape, with each of those snake head strands becoming a dragon guarding each of the towers. I know this is kind of a lot, but for a mega form, especially for a legendary Pokemon's mega form, it didn't feel like overkill to me. I've also added extra mouths to its hand. I've given its big torso mouth a big tongue, and really taken some liberties with the blue and the red splotches that, or cells I should say, that appeared in 100% Zygarde. So my 100% Mega Zygarde isn't just this final complete 100% form. Now it's at 110%. It's that much stronger, and I want it to look tougher. I will say, I think if I had the time, I would take another crack at this design. It took me 3 or 4 tries to even get it to this point, and it just doesn't feel ornate enough. It does feel busy, which isn't bad in this instance, but I wish I had found a better way to balance that busyness and still make it feel like a king, a castle, all these concepts rolled into one. Meet Mega Zygarde Z. Mega Zygarde Z represents the first known Pokemon with 3 Mega forms. Though the reason for its existence is not clear, it seems to be drawn to Lumiose Tower. Even in this form, Mega Zygarde can cause entire nations to tremble and fall. And there you have it. 5 new Mega Pokemon, encapsulating what I believe is a total of 29 or 30 Mega Pokemon that I made through the course of April. All of these were drawn in April. I was on schedule. I just fell apart. I think I pushed myself too hard. I got sick, and I just crumbled. But I'm back now, and I'm excited to get back into making Wintana region videos. We are so close to completing the region, and then I've got new, admittedly non-Pokemon projects that I'm excited to get started on. So stick around for the ride. Let me know which of these Mega Pokemon you like, and let me know if you want me to do a ranking video of my own designs. I think that could be fun. Until then, I hope that I get to see something incredible that you've made of your own. Thank you.